Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Oh, we're back. Jordan JC out here looking like one of the extras in NWA. Going full on NWA this morning. How we
That's
Jordan
right.
JC?
All black. That's right. That's
right. I'm not mad at it. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Morning Breeze.
Yes, sir.
On today's episode, we got to talk about the Chicago Bears and the possibility of them having to bet on upside over best talent available for a couple of different reasons. Do we want to see Ryan Poles gamble? There's some chances that may have to be taken. I don't know if I trust. I don't know if I trust this guy. We'll see. But also, Jordan JC's watching basketball again, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Tapping in with Chicago Bulls, watching a game.
Full game.
And he doesn't like how things are being handled. Don't you love when your boss comes in and hasn't watched a single minute of work and then goes, I don't like what you're doing here. We're going to react to what he saw in the fourth quarter of that Bulls game as well. Date is 3/31/2025, 7:03 in the morning. And I have it on good authority that we're not going anywhere. In fact, we're going a singular direction. That's up, Jordan JC. You want to know why? Because right now,
what do we got?
We are less than 50 subscribers away from 50,000.
Oh, don't you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Get 50 right now this morning.
50K on the way, baby.
Let's get 50 more this morning.
On the way. Big vibes out here, dog.
50K, now
I love it. 50K on the way. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily Morning Breeze edition. Appreciate y'all as always for rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
I heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Always a fan of Jordan JC's breathing work in that clip there. That was phenomenal. How you? How you feeling, my guy?
Oh man, I'm feeling good. After you just said we're about 50 away from 50K.
Yeah,
that's a good way to start a meeting Monday morning. I love that.
Right
that's really good.
We're on our way, man. It's so funny because like the things that have gotten the things that started us here, of course, were like Chicago Bulls live calls and stuff like that. And I always shied away from doing stuff like that with the Bears because I'm not really a rational person with the Bears. Right? It might be a holding penalty. I'd be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm good. I ain't see a hole. You know what I mean? It might be a little pass interference.
Right.
Logical all the time when it comes to reacting to the Chicago Bears. My emotions get involved in certain things. I was always able to break it down, but like the watch parties have really helped us get here, and it's something that I never wanted to do.
Hey, facts. No, man, we are moving. Do you actually get a plaque at 50K? Or
no,
am I tripping?
They used to give you a 50K plaque. They don't do that no more. Now you get a plaque at 100K.
Oh, we got 50 more to go.
Yeah, we got some time. We got 50 more to go before we get a plaque. But I'll tell you what, baby, the plaque's coming. I want the diamond one. That's 10 million.
Lord have mercy. Everybody's going to be watching the Breeze.
I don't know if we got 10 million Chicago sports fans, but if we do, we got to get every single one. Everyone. Or we just start talking general sports. We'll see what life takes us. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Let's talk a little bit of sports, man. How was how was the weekend? I guess we could start there before we just dive face first into
our weekend was good. Actually, shout out to Nova, who was in the chat. Went to a DJ event, Vibe Chasers, over the weekend.
Ooh.
And him and a couple of guys, Audio Kid, DJ Fam, And another guy I'm not too familiar with, but it was 4 DJs, man. They went back to back to back to back. Man, had a really good time. A lot of people came out, really like vibed out to some good music. They gave away a couple of a really awesome what do you call it? Vinyls? I don't know. Like when you did the big ones, the black ones. I don't know.
Records.
Records. What records? I don't know why I call them vinyls.
What do you call those round things?
That's how you know I'm not a DJ. That's exactly how you know I'm not a DJ. But yeah, records like Lauryn Hill.
That's a human issue right there, dog. Are you a human from this planet? What are those big round things with the music on them, man?
Things, the circling things that you
It's the merry-go-round.
Yeah. Oh God. But no, it was a great time. Like they did their thing. Nova did his thing. Like we had a really good time. So yeah, good weekend for me, man. What you do?
Nothing. Sat here and chilled and got phone calls from everybody that
I don't like the way you just said nothing.
Oh no, nothing's good when you're a parent, brother. Nothing is good.
Okay. All right, okay.
But no, I got phone calls from everybody who went to Nova's event. Shout out to Nova. I wasn't dissing you.
Okay.
I don't go outside. And everybody's like, everyone's here. Where are you? I was like,
you should have been there. P-Kid was there too. Yeah, we had a good time, man.
Yeah,
Joe was there too. Actually, Joe and P-Kid won 2 of the records.
I heard that. Oh boy, there he is. JC was jiving on the dance floor.
Oh God, I was yeah. No, I was not. You will not let me live that down. God, chucking and jiving, JC.
Yeah, no, I ain't going outside. I'm good. I was straight on. It was funny because everybody called me. It was just like, "Hey man, like where you at, man? The whole breeze is up here." I was like,
"Yeah, real talk.
I'm in Madrid,
all of it."
And I'm not getting out of it, or I'm not putting something over them. Like I'm here. I'm chilling.
Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. We're well represented. It's all right.
Hey, shout out to you guys for always popping out for the party, dog. Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's talk a little ball because Chicago Bears, they are going to be in an interesting situation here early on in the draft, right? Because there is a possible scenario where we get to this pick at 10.
Uh-oh.
And your big names are gone, right? Mason Graham is gone.
I can see that.
The running back room is, or I'm sorry, Ashton Genty will not be added to your running back room because he could be out of the way. Will Campbell could be gone. All of these pieces that you're just like, hey, I love this. Oh, wait, no, he's not there anymore. Hey, I would love to oh, he's gone as well, right? Like you could be in a bad situation here at 10 where you're looking at all the big names that have been on the board and going, well, now what do we do? And with Tatoria McMillan doing what he did over the weekend, basically going, I don't watch football or tape.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, he will probably drop out of the top 10, ladies and gentlemen.
Just stop down. Yeah,
he will more than likely not be a top 10 piece.
Is that on purpose? Like, do you honestly think as a prospect you can say something like that and think that you're still going to be a top receiver? Like
I think he's being honest, and he has never had to watch film. And look, he may not have to watch film. There are players that are like that, where I'm just talented, but eventually talent fades.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
But right now, you may not have to watch film. You may not have to go out there and study cover 2, cover 3, what covers they're gonna, because you're just that good.
Don't be
there
like
are
Kyler
some
Murray.
receivers that are like, there's a Hall of Fame. I think it was either Michael Irving or
Irvin didn't watch film.
It might have been Michael Irving or one of the like Hall of Fame wide receivers. Like, I never watched film. Yeah, it didn't matter what coverage you were going to put on me because I was going to catch the football.
Well, okay. Yeah, shout out Crimson. That's my thought was Kyler Murray. I mean, you look at the crap he's going through. Like, no. Why would you? Now, what do we got, Connor?
Connor with the super chat said, how many subs for Jive and JC's top 10 dark horses of the draft?
Wait, what is that music you used to put on for the ups and downs, highs and lows on Friday? Oh, that's actually the perfect. Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, Jive and JC's top 10 dark horses of the draft.
Oh, God. Come on. Whatever.
But I say all that to say, that if you are in that situation,
Yeah.
can Ryan Poles take a chance on an upside player and you be happy? So a player who, Josh Simmons, right? We saw 5 games of it. The 5 games were dominant.
Yeah, it was.
But it's 5 games, right? That is still an upside player at 10. A Shamar Stewart, who people are all of a sudden in love with. Oh, look at those RAS scores.
Numbers.
Yeah. Can't play football.
The technique is not there yet.
Hey, I don't know if you guys watched this tape, but it's bad. You know what I mean? Like, can you take a chance on an upside piece at 10? Because there's also this scenario where teams might not be looking to trade back or trade up in this draft. The Bears may actually be stuck at 10.
I mean, look, the reality is the NFL draft is all about taking chances. You have your prospects who are more surefire prospects, which is why they get drafted in the first round, because they're more of the certain thing. But at the end of the day, none of these guys are proven at the NFL level. So technically, if you want to say, are you going to take a chance? Everybody's taking chances. Tennessee's going to take a chance probably on Cam Ward because he's the best quote unquote quarterback in this draft. However, if Cam Ward was in any other draft, he'd probably be in the third round.
He might be a second round pick.
second or third round. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're taking chances all over the board. But as regards to the Bears and Poles, I don't think he needs to reach when it comes to prospects like Shamar Stewart, who again, the combine numbers wow you. We always got your the athletic freak list that comes out sometimes. The RAS score, like you mentioned. However, the production hasn't been there. Like I want a guy who at least at the college level showed the numbers and the production year after year. For a couple of years in college at least. And that's what I want to bank on. I don't want to bank on just this one day of just, oh my goodness, he lifted 245 pounds 28 times and he ran a 4.000 at 280 pounds. Like no, I think
he could jump out of a swimming pool.
Exactly. You did that. Thank you. Learn from the past. Like the Bears regimes of old did that mess. I forgot what that guy's name was, Gabriel or whoever his name was. It's like, when are you going to jump out of a pool on an NFL field? When are you going to do that? Like, let's be honest. So my thing is, what do the numbers say? Now, for Josh Simmons, I feel like you can give him a little more leeway because even though, yes, he only played 5 games, you kind of still know what his pedigree is. You've seen him dominate. And as a left tackle, he's a little bit more sure of a prospect than a Shamar Stewart because that's exactly what you need on the line. We talked about his length. We talked about the measurables. He's a legit left tackle, and had he not gotten hurt, he would probably be the first tackle off the board outside of Armand Membu. And so for me, I'm fine if they take a chance. I've heard you've heard me say that Josh Simmons is a fine person. Marcus Gilbert, yeah, that was insane.
He can jump out of a pool.
Oh boy, let's
get pools on the football field. Did I miss that? Did we add that in?
Does that equate to 10 sacks a season? Like, no, not at all. So no, I'm if we're talking those two comparisons in particular, you want to bring those two names out. Josh Simmons to me would be a guy if for whatever reason, you got your Mason Grahams, your what did you say, your Will Campbells and your Ashton Genty's off the board. I still feel like there's probably somebody else that you could still take there, whether it be even a Mike Green. I would take a chance on a Mike Green over a Shamar Stewart. Heck, I go Tyler Warren over Shamar Stewart. So there's still people out there. If you want to say, are they going to take a chance?
Well, I think the tough part about it is, right, like you do have to ask yourself, even for me, even if it's, hey, you got to draft this guy and develop him, right? Like, I think you're taking chances, like you said, no matter what in the draft. But say Armand Membu's still on the board, which I don't think he will be. I think he's going to end up being the top tackle off of the board. Yeah. I think the Patriots and Armand Membu might be destined to be together because they need 5 guys in the draft here. They need 5 guys on that offensive line, and you can get a couple of them in the draft here. But to me, if a guy like Armand Membu is still on the board at 10, and there's been a lot of people who have talked about it, Tom Thayer's talked about it and stuff like that, where it's like you don't want to go moving that guy. You don't want to mess around. Yeah, he's on the right side. Let him play on the right side. I'm going top talent available in that situation because I've got the best talent out of this kid. I might be able to move him over to the left side and figure some things out. And by the way, you still got Braxton Jones there. You can develop him over the course of the year and slowly allow him to compete for that job. Now, I know a lot of people look at that and say, well, the top 10 pick, how can you afford to not have him in the starting lineup? How can he not be a part of your starting offensive line? Well, because he got to win the job. And I would rather him figure the job out and slowly win it throughout the season than have him or just have to take it over due to injury. Braxton Jones has been I know we still think of Braxton Jones in like his rookie year, but he's been a very injured player as well. Like Braxton Jones has missed a considerable amount of time over the last couple of games. He's on par with Tevin Jenkins essentially. But like to me, the conversation on taking best player available, I think you have to stay there, because even if you're going with the upside of talent, I think that's a better situation than taking a chance on, hey, this guy's upside could be this, but we have to develop him to the nth degree at 10. Right. And I don't know if I see people saying, if you're there, trade back, just trade back, just trade back, just trade back. With who? That's the thing. It takes two to tango, or two to Membo in this situation.
No, two to Membo. I like it.
Two to Membo. You like that?
That's actually not that bad.
Who are you trading back with? Who are you moving up for? Because in this scenario that we're giving here, right, this is the top talent is off the board.
Well, remember, right? we did talk about maybe a scenario, and it's a very maybe, a very big maybe. I believe was it the Steelers that might
move up?
Move up, because now there's muddy waters with Aaron Rodgers. Still, I think that's still is a thing, and maybe they try to get up and go get Jackson Dart if Shedeur Sanders is off the board or something like that.
Yeah,
that might be one of the very few teams that you could trade back with and legitimately get some capital back and maybe still take somebody you like.
How much they're going to have to give up to go from 21 to 10
is probably something they don't want to do.
You know what I mean? Like at that point, hey, if I'm seeing how the board is laying out, especially again, right, if Tatori McMillan falls out of the top 10, you're probably talking about Membo being off of the board. You're probably this is really what sparks the conversation. There's now probably somebody who wasn't in that top 10 that moves into it.
Yeah.
Where, maybe Cleveland goes quarterback, maybe Giants go. That's kind of where he's been in that range. Maybe Giants probably would go. Why am I blanking on old boy from Colorado? You know what I'm talking about. Travis Hunter.
Oh, Travis. Okay.
Abdul Carter is probably in Cleveland.
That's a given.
Or either vice versa on that.
Yeah.
Jacksonville probably goes with Membu. Vegas in this situation probably goes with Ashton. Jets probably go Will Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, like, however this falls, but now this big name wide receiver who's a top 10 pick. I don't watch tape. That's gonna scare some teams.
Yeah.
That's gonna probably throw his bag off. And we said, what's gonna be the pick? What's gonna be the name that falls out of the top 10 and moves a guy like Jackson Dart in there? Or moves a guy like, Ashton Genty higher, or Armand Membu higher, or Will Campbell higher, Mason Graham higher. Like, to me, if you get in a situation at 10 where you still can get a good player in Kenneth Grant versus, which I think he's a late teen to 20s player, but a good player, versus going out there and getting or gambling on, maybe this guy turns into the next Myles Garrett because he has all the measurables. Measurables don't mean a thing if you can't play football. So I think you have to go best player available. No questions asked. And if that is in your mind, a Mike Green, if that is that'd be, I love Mike Green. I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with it. Yeah, I'm with you, because if you're saying that the scenario is we really don't have trade partners to move back to kind of even out the value of the person that we're picking, because 10 is a little bit too high for whoever we would be taking outside of the top 3 names that we hope would be there for us to pick, then I'm looking at, like I told you before, does the ranking of a position now start to outweigh, other prospects? So and what I mean by that is we know who running back 1 is in this draft. It's Ashton Genty. Running back 2 is probably Omarion Hampton. Then 3 and 4, you probably got Quinshawn Judkins and Caleb Johnson and that whole conversation, Travion Henderson, that little pack. Who would it be at wide receiver? You talk Ted McMillan, Matthew Golden from Texas, a couple of guys there, right? We don't need that. That's why I said for me, if we're thinking about maybe getting that tight end, at that point, I'm like, okay, Tyler Warren clearly is number 1. So with his value at being the best tight end now cause you to pick him at 10 over even a Josh Simmons, who we could complete our line, from left to right if we get him, but he's not the best tackle on the board. Would you go the best positional player in my mind?
I think I get what you're saying. Basically go with the best person at that position. So if Tyler Warren's the best tight end off the board, you go with the best tight end off the board, right? Or you go with the best player at that position off the board. I think the tough part about that is the best tight end off of the board better than the second or third or fourth best defensive tackle? Is the best wide receiver off the board in Ted McMillan, who I think he is, better than the third or fourth offensive lineman off of the board, right? I think it's still, like, to me, this is a draft. It's a very offensive line draft. It's a very defensive line draft. There's pieces to be had in this draft where your third or fourth best defensive tackle or defensive edge rusher is better than the first tight end off of the board, in my mind, right? Like, I think you can sit there and say, and I know Tyler Warren's moved up a ton, usually for teams that have it a little bit more together. Yeah, he's got game. He's got plenty of game. Connor saying Miami could move up in the super chat. Appreciate the super chat there, Connor. Miami could move up for Banks. Could possibly.
That's a name that's kind of been falling.
But at that point too, right? Like, you got San Fran, you got Dallas ahead of them. Kelvin Banks might be there. You know what I mean? Like, that's my issue with a lot of he could move up here. This team could move up here. This team could make it to here. Like, there's not a lot of need to move. Like, if I wait things out, unless you're like dying for a quarterback, which I would love to see happen here, where Shedeur Sanders is still on the board and 10 is available, then you get the most available for it. But, like, to me, when you're having a conversation around taking the best player positionally available, I feel like you're excluding a lot of the names that could be there or do have more talent but are at a different position. Not to say you would regret it or you're not talking about having a position of need there, but that is kind of like going, hey, I think we went running back in the draft where, Terrell Suggs is taken. Right?
Yeah.
That didn't work out. You know what I mean? And Terrell Suggs was the second linebacker or third linebacker off of the board, but he was better than the running back.
I see what you're saying.
Taking that year.
Yeah. No, it's something to think about. I like that. That's one of the many different directions we can go. Again, for me, that's why, like I said, the draft is full of taking chances. But as far as taking a chance on upside, I would be more comfortable if Ryan Poles at least went the route of someone who dominated and showed enough production in college with us. And we just mentioned the one name jumping out the pool. We can go back to the other name of the quarterback that we took a chance on that nobody thought we would get, Mitch Trubisky in North Carolina. What did he only play? 16 games? I believe it was only 16 games. And then, you go off that small sample size and it's like, well, where did he come from? And if it was less than that, it was small. And
he had a hot was it Senior Bowl or whatever it was? I don't remember which one he played in. He had one of those hot games where Ryan Poles
he was just enamored. He was like, oh, there he is. All right, it's time to
do rag, relax your animals.
Oh yeah.
I'm not here. Nobody.
Look at that.
Oh,
Look at the spin on that ball against Nolan.
Oh boy, UNC president. Come on, man. And it was just like
He
seriously.
drives the Kia. Oh,
Yeah. You got really excited over that. Getting tingly because he drove a modest car. Like, come on. So stuff like that. That's my example. If you've seen it in the past, maybe not with this specific regime and Ryan Pace, or rather Ryan Poles, but you saw it with Pace.
Yeah.
You saw it with other regimes where it's like we've tried to bank on the upside or the pick that nobody else saw. And let's get sneaky with, or you got a guy from a college from the backwoods of Saskatchewan. I
some
want
animals
to
out in the backwoods.
you know what? We'll keep them there because they're not good on the Chicago Bears. They're not good on the Bears. They turned into horrible players when they get to Chicago.
You want to go get that guy out of Utah, Northwest, East, South State? He's a monster in his RAF scores.
No, he's not. RAS scores. I mean, sometimes that can be a send off, and that's my thing. Is yes, it looks really good. You got all these green colors, and he's elite. He's elite in height. He's elite in weight. He's elite in speed. He's elite. Okay, but what did he do in college? What did he actually show on the field? Did he show elite play?
Do you remember the conversation around Jalen Carter where it was like he's out of shape? He's going to be, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look ready to play. He looks like he showed up in a just not prepared for his combine. Yeah. I think this is going to hurt him in the draft, and he did end up dropping. I think more for the killing people thing.
Yes, that probably was on his mind.
Yeah, but hey, Jalen Carter just won a Super Bowl by consistently being in Patrick Mahomes' face.
Bro, I saw college tape of him picking up people and carrying them after a play was over. I saw him dominate. I didn't need to see his pro day or his combine numbers. Yeah, it was lackluster. Yeah, it was frustrating and maybe a little concerning and not see him perform up to what his potential was. But I mean, that's why when you pair a player with a certain team that can get the most out of him, you have veterans around him that will coach him up and make sure that he stays mentally into the game and doing what he has to do. Now you see what Jalen Carter is all about, on the Philly team. Those are the players that I want, because again, part of it is your staff. And so when you're talking about a player like with upside, yes, okay, maybe a Dennis Allen can get the most out of a Shamar Stewart. Yeah. Maybe Dennis Allen can get the most out of, someone who didn't put up great numbers or Josh Simmons. You take chances. I would love to pair up somebody that's a sure thing with this staff. With this, if we're talking about taking a defensive tackle or an edge rusher like a Mikael Williams or a James Pierce Jr., people that have certain measurables that's like, oh, where does he fit? Well, Dennis Allen will make sure he fits somewhere on this team where he's going to get the most out of him. Those are the guys that I would love to pair up on this team, not the guys that just wow you for one day.
Let me ask you this before we finish this topic off, because I do want to get to this interesting Bulls take you have here. Let me ask you this though: is Ryan Poles good enough to gamble?
No,
that's the big question that I have.
No,
right? Like, listen, I get it. You drafted Caleb Williams. You get the credit for picking Caleb Williams. Who else were you gonna pick?
Mm-hmm.
He was the number one player in the country. He was the number one player in the draft. I guess, right? You could say Jaden Daniels, but either way.
Mm-hmm.
At worst, you went with the second best player in the draft. Like it's layup. You had the best player or the other one. At 9, I think. Listen, I love Rome. I think Rome is going to have a ton of upside. I think he's going to have a great year.
Love it.
Jared versus the reigning NFC Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Joe got it right.
Like the second that it's not the easy pick, we saw you miss out on the possible second or well, I guess not even possible. You missed out on the best defensive player in this draft. That's not just him. A lot of teams missed out. I think Jared Verse ended up going what did he go? 15th? 15th or 16th?
I was thinking 15 or 16 because LA had like a team pick.
He went later. So a bunch of teams didn't pick him, but like you didn't have the reigning offensive player of the year on the offensive side, and you missed out on the reigning defensive player of the year on the defensive side. You know what I mean? Like that's
16th. Okay.
When it's not the easy answer. Essentially, you can say, based on what we saw rookie year, he got it wrong.
Yeah.
Is Ryan Poles good enough to gamble? And don't even start me on the third round.
Well, that should answer your question right there, because it's like when you get to a certain round, Ryan Poles puts on these blinders, and it's like, oh, who are we picking now? So no, he's not good enough. We've seen a year lost with him doing it backwards. When we complained that is he on the hot seat last year, when we talked about should he be replaced, should he be allowed to have another chance with a new coach like Ben Johnson and new staff to kind of save him from his own mistakes, we said maybe not. As much as we talked about the fleecing that he did of Carolina and the good job that he does of picking cornerbacks and there's certain mishaps that he has made that were big, that were blunders, that cost you a season of your quarterback's contract as a rookie. If you would have gotten him better protection and invested on the line than getting the cute picks and the flashy toys like the wide receivers and the Keenan Allens and Roman Dunzes, then maybe we're talking about, a different season last year. So no, I think Ryan Poles should not gamble. And I think he's not going to gamble because he has people in that organization. He has the president. He has a new coach who I'm pretty sure are going to kind of watch his every move and are part of every move that they're going to make. And so I trust more in the overall staff that they have than I do individually in Ryan Poles, if that makes sense. Like I trust that, we talked about him having his handheld. I trust that the brain power of all three of those guys, the brain trust is going to outweigh him making bad decisions.
Shout out to Chris Newman with the chat. Say get Banks and go edge and running back in the second round may be something that they also end up doing in that situation as well. I don't know. That's where it gets scary to me. I do trust, because of what we've seen, I do trust the new staff. I think Ben Johnson's got his hand in there, making some things happen. And maybe, listen, let's be real. Maybe he just has a better viewpoint of the type of player that he wants. Like that is a part of it too, right? Like you got to be in lockstep with your head coach. If I pick up the phone and I call Flus and I'm like, "Hey, Flus, I got this offensive lineman who's dominant out here," and he goes, "I like Crusher. I got Braxton on the end. I like Ranger out there. Don't you like Ranger? Love you, Ranger. Let's go."
No.
Yeah, I told him the score. I told him that we got each other. Told him hug the man next to you. Maybe a little peck on the cheek.
Nope. See, you lost me there. You lost me there, Flusy.
I told you we got football.
Yeah, right. You're fine.
Let's play football our way.
I would fire. Oh boy, if there was a way, I could fire him twice. There was a way.
There may be a way. We'll see what happens in Dallas. Hey, man, appreciate y'all tuning in. Show love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor, Jordan JC, with an interesting take on Billy Donovan. You got to throw daggers somewhere when the Bulls actually start winning. Bulls took an L over the weekend here on Sunday to a Dallas team that they should not have lost to. Saturday, I should say, to a Dallas team they should not have lost to. But hard-fought game. I mean, we'll talk about that and get Jordan JC's take on the fall off there coming up next. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star view. Y'all know what to do.
The best show for Chicago sports.
Doing good over here. Doing better than Kanye. Did you see that yesterday?
No, I missed it. What happened?
Kanye. Oh, you just got to Google that. We can't even say that on the stream.
Oh, boy. All right. As usual. Huh?
That's right. That's right.
You said something profound. Huh?
No, it's what he said while what he was wearing. Here we go. Yep. You got to watch this guy. By the way, we are over 100 in the chat. Over 200 in the chat.
All right.
Over 300 in the chat. Okay. That's it. 300. 300.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just got done talking about should the Bears bet on upside over best talent available in the draft. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's have this conversation now. Because Chicago Bulls are worth talking again. Winning a lot of games here. Dominating in weird fashion. But they did take an L. And on the first L that they took, Jordan JC's ready to flip a table.
Oh, yeah, you know why.
I'm sick of it.
I told you Boots would let us down.
The Chicago Bulls, you're not lying. You are not lying, dog.
Jesus.
The Chicago Bulls end up losing to a Dallas Mavericks team that just is a bad basketball team. Like they don't have much there. Anthony Davis had a horrible game. It's a game the Bulls should have been able to find a way to win, but instead end up on the losing end of. And you got problems with how Billy Donovan ran the fourth quarter, Jordan JC.
I got problems with the way Billy Donovan ran the fourth quarter. I got problems with the way specifically he didn't utilize a player who I feel like has now proven himself enough where it's like no matter the situation, you need him out there. You need your best players available when the time comes for the game to be won. I understand that, sometimes a player just in a game doesn't have it. Maybe the energy level is low. They're creating horrible turnovers. They're just not themselves right throughout the game. But when it comes to the end of the game, I feel like specifically Josh Giddey has proven himself, especially recently.
Yeah.
With being someone that you need on the floor for multiple reasons, whether he's improved in his defense, he's improved in his shooting. He's obviously really good at facilitating and getting out on the break and putting players in a position to succeed. He will give it to the best player when it comes to passing the rock. Like there's so many things that Giddey does for your team. You just saw it in the win in the 119 to 117 win over the Lakers, whether it was the steal because of the lazy pass by LeBron, the IQ to look behind him and throw it to Kobe White for the three to eventually go up by one, or the Hail Mary shot that 50-50 that you make it or you miss it. To me, he's shown enough over the course of his Bulls tenure, his early career with the Bulls, that says this is a guy that I want out there when it's time to win the game, no matter if he's kind of had a horrible day. Now I look at the stats and I looked at over 27 minutes.
Yeah, he had a bad day.
8 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. 4 assists is bad for Giddey. Giddey usually he usually stumbles into 10 assists. Like he gets them very easily. Bad day. However, when you're telling me that you're benching him in the fourth quarter as a coach, I start to question whether or not you're looking at the game the right way. And you're saying, well, okay, what's his overall production tell me versus this moment of making mistakes? Because I feel like you've done the same thing with Modest. Modest has had those moments where he has needed to be benched by Billy, and he's even voiced it. He said, I appreciate those moments because it helps me to lock back in. I need to get better, stop making mental mistakes, utilize more energy. I need to bring more to the game for the win. But when it comes to Giddey, who's kind of proven himself since he's been in the league to be a good all-around point guard, you have no excuse of benching him. And that's where I see us going wrong, is that I feel like every time we take a step forward, there's always something that kind of brings us right back to the table and say, well, what the heck is going on now? And I feel like Billy Donovan sometimes gets in the way of the development of this young core, because he's going to be a part of the young core. Giddey is one of the three that you say, okay, he's going to be part of the present and the future. Him, Kobe White, Modest Buzelis. Maybe a few other pieces that you like that could be good bench players, but those three are your guys. So you should be rocking with those guys when it comes to the fourth quarter, and that's where I had an issue.
Here's what's tough about it. I don't think you're wrong, but I also don't believe you have a chance to come back in that game if you play Giddey in the fourth one. He was having a bad game. You were down. You were trying to go out there and build a comeback. The Bulls were getting, they weren't getting killed, but it was, what was it, 9, I think, going into the fourth, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
They were getting beat. You know what I mean? And they weren't winning in points in the paint. They weren't winning. Now, the turnovers was the biggest issue that the Chicago Bulls had the entire night. 17 turnovers, 19 turnovers, but could not stop scoring on the other end. I think they end up giving up 27 points off of turnovers in that game. Points off of turnovers, 27 points off of turnovers in that game. So that's really what puts you behind the 8 ball. And not to say that's all on Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey did have 4 of those turnovers, but it's not all on Josh Giddey. They played poorly as a team. But I think that we're not even having a conversation on the Bulls possibly mounting a comeback if Giddey is playing in the fourth of that game. Now, I'm not saying that Giddey shouldn't be playing. I'm not saying that it couldn't have happened. It definitely could have. But how the game was going, I think it did dictate sitting Josh Giddey down for a little while, because and not in a disrespectful manner, just say, hey, right now the team's playing better with Dalen. Let's roll with Dalen. I like the fact that Billy's willing to go with the hot hand. Like, I think that is important in moments like that. And I understand the respect of like, hey, these are your guys. You play your guys down the stretch. I'm rolling with my guys, win, lose, or draw. And in a loss, I think you can criticize this. But if you get, if Vooch makes a free throw and we go to overtime in this thing, you probably win this game. Right? If
that is true.
A free throw and you go to overtime, you probably win this game. You came up 1 quarter short. I think, to me, you're not even having that conversation if you leave Josh out there and lose. You know what I mean? Now, you lost anyway, so it may not matter. But I don't think that was a bad move or a disrespectful move. We've seen good players get sat down when they having horrible games.
We've seen them get sat down, but here's my question. The last version of the stars that were on the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vooch. You going to sit here and tell me that Billy was going to sit those guys down if they were having bad games?
He literally
DeMar
did.
would have a fit.
Now, DeMar, for some reason, he never did. But he did it with Vooch. He did it with Zach. Like, they would be having horrible games. They'd be like, sit over here for a little while. I bet you have a seat here.
Yeah, but I think Giddey didn't play like the last 5 or 6 minutes of the entire game. Like, I get benching him, letting him rest for a minute in the beginning of the fourth quarter like they did. But you're going to tell me that he isn't in the last 5 minutes of the game at all over Dalen Terry? I love Dalen. Dalen, that plays a role. He has a fit on this team now. He's improved to the point where you trust his man-on-man defense. He gives you good rebounds. He's giving you energy. Josh Giddey's still Josh Giddey. Like at the
Listen,
end of the day,
I'm not saying that he can't go out there and hoop. I'm not saying that he's not better than Dalen Terry. I think he just wasn't better for that moment. Like I don't like it, we're probably not having this conversation if Josh Giddey's out there. We're just like, Bulls got clapped. Shouldn't have lost that game. Let's get back. Yeah, I mean, like, and you got beat anyway, but you at least mounted a little bit of a comeback, and I think that comeback comes from the energy that Dalen Terry was bringing, the fact that he wasn't turning the basketball over, and you reset.
That was an issue,
and you get yourself back out there, and you get back on the horse. Bulls take on the who we playing tonight?
OKC. Yeah, you want to get back on the horse. Oh, boy.
This is gonna be ugly.
62.
Put that in the chat. Pat is wrong.
Is that Pop? Who is that?
My dad. In the chat. Pat is wrong.
Straightforward. Shout out, Pops.
But no, man. Listen, I think that that was a game you needed to get. I think I picked the Bulls to go 2-1 over this week. We don't have a ton of games this week. We got this one, and then I think on Thursday we play the.
So we get the. We got the Raptors.
The Raptors. That should
no. Actually, we have the Raptors on Tuesday, and then Friday is the Trailblazers.
Oh, we got a back to back here. So we got Bulls, we got Raptors, and then we got Blazers this week. I think I picked the Bulls to go 2-1 this week. Here's your one.
Yeah, I was about to say,
some back to back losses here.
We'll see. Jesus.
And now the sky is going to fall again. Everything is going to be for naught. The Bulls are going to be the worst team in basketball history. But a little Giddey versus Caruso action.
Yeah. Who won the trade? Yeah, clearly we did.
That was creepy. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We'll be back and better than ever later today as we've got Daily Show with the squad in the building.
Yes, sir.
We got the I will be live, I guess, for the Chicago Bulls game. So maybe a little Monopoly during the Bulls game tonight.
Oh, I'll take that. Yeah.
Monopoly and stopping. I don't know what that means. For Jordan J. C, your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Appreciate you guys tuning in and showing love. See you, Red Nation.
To 50K, baby.
Peace. Oh, yeah, almost 50K. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the page.
Oh, baby.
What we had right
dangerous out here. It's getting lethal.
We randomly lost like 5 subscribers yesterday.
So
we were at like 949. We're at 947 right now. Or we're at like 959, something like that.
All right.
947 right now. 49, 947. We're on our way, baby. Tap in.